I grew up in a small village nestled deep within the woods. It was a place where belief in witchcraft and the unseen was not just a superstition, but a way of life. In that eerie setting, I remember the story of an old lady who lived in the neighboring house. She was wise in the old ways, her wrinkled face a testament to the years she had spent deciphering the mysteries of the forest. But even she couldn't escape the chilling touch of the unknown. It was a dusky evening when it happened. The sky was painted in shades of crimson and violet as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting elongated shadows that seemed to reach out with grasping fingers. The old lady was returning home, her footsteps echoing softly on the dirt path, when a sudden movement caught her eye. A bird, black as the night itself, soared towards her with an unnatural determination. Before she could react, it collided with her, its feathers brushing against her skin like icy tendrils. With a sickening thud, the bird fell to the ground, lifeless. Shaken but curious, the old lady bent down to inspect the creature. Its eyes, once bright with life, now held a vacant stare that sent shivers down her spine. Hastily, she made her way home, her heart pounding with unease. Upon reaching her humble abode, she recounted the strange encounter to her husband and children, their faces etched with concern. Little did she know, that moment marked the beginning of a nightmare she could never have imagined. As night descended upon the village, a feverish sickness gripped the old lady, her body racked with pain. Desperate, her family sought the help of doctors, but their modern medicine proved futile against the ancient forces at play. In a last-ditch effort to save her, they turned to a local herbalist, a man whispered to possess knowledge beyond the realms of ordinary men. With solemn determination, he performed rituals older than time itself, chanting incantations that seemed to stir the very air around them. In a haze of agony and despair, the old lady fought against the darkness that threatened to consume her. But as the herbalist's words echoed through the night, a glimmer of hope flickered within her soul. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the ritual reached its climax. With a final burst of energy, the herbalist banished the malevolent force that had taken root within her, casting it back into the depths of the unknown. And as the first rays of dawn pierced through the darkness, the old lady opened her eyes, her body drenched in sweat, but her spirit unbroken. She had survived the harrowing ordeal, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable horrors. But deep within the shadows of the forest, whispers lingered, reminding the villagers that in a world where the line between reality and nightmare blurred, true darkness lurked just beyond the edge of sight. We lived in a village shrouded in mist, a place whispered to hold secrets in its very air. For years, our family endured an unseen terror, unexplained illnesses, accidents that felt more like malicious intent, and chilling noises that slithered through the house like whispers from a forgotten world. Desperate, we sought the help of a man rumored to possess powers beyond comprehension. He was our last hope, the only one capable of severing the dark tendrils that had woven themselves into the fabric of our lives. The moon hung full and heavy as he arrived, cloaked in shadows and the scent of something ancient and unknown. The air crackled with a strange energy as he stepped inside, his presence stirring the very dust motes dancing in the moonlight. The house seemed to come alive at his arrival. Lights flickered, a sudden icy gust swept through the room, and my sister clutched her head, gasping from a seemingly out-of-the-blue headache. But the man remained unwavering, his gaze steady and resolute. His voice, when he spoke, resonated with a power that seemed older than time itself. He chanted, the words rolling forth like ancient incantations, vibrating through the very floorboards. He scattered a potent mixture of herbs and oils around the house, their scent filling the air with a heady mix of earthiness and forgotten magic. Then, as if responding to his call, A wisp of flame materialized before him, a tiny ball of fire dancing with an unnatural light. With a flick of his wrist, he guided it into a waiting vial, sealing it shut with a finality that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Relief washed over us like a tidal wave. The spirit, or whatever it was, seemed banished. Days turned into weeks, and a fragile normalcy returned. The fear that had become a constant companion began to recede, replaced by a sense of cautious optimism. But fate, it seemed, had a cruel sense of humor. Just as we dared to hope for a reprieve, a new terror emerged, shattering our fragile peace. One day, my siblings, drawn by an unseen force, stumbled upon a glint of glass nestled amongst the trees near our house. It was a bottle, identical to the one used by the man to trap the entity that had plagued us. My parents' faces drained of color as they recognized the ominous object, their silence screaming the horrifying truth. Our nightmare was far from over. The darkness, we chillingly realized, had merely bided its time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike once more. And as the shadows deepened around us, I knew, with a bone-deep certainty, that the fight for our very souls had only just begun. In the quiet village where I grew up, there lived an old man named Crowley, a figure of both respect and curiosity among the locals. For weeks, he had been plagued by illness, his rasping cough a constant reminder of his fading strength. As the rain drummed against my window one night, I lay awake, haunted by the sounds of his suffering. It was then that I saw it, a large white owl perched atop the ridge of Crowley's roof, its luminous eyes piercing the darkness. It seemed to stare intently at his darkened windows before vanishing into the storm-laden night. The following morning brought news of Crowley's passing, the village echoing with whispers of a heart attack. But deep within me, a cold dread settled, fueled by the memory of that haunting gaze. Weeks passed, and tragedy struck once more. This time, the owl was spotted on the roof of the Andersons' house, right across the street from mine. Little Timmy, their mischievous 6-year-old, fell victim to a sudden fever that claimed his bright spirit all too soon. As the villagers whispered anxiously, their eyes darting skyward, fear gnawed at my heart like a relentless predator. Summoning all my courage, I confided in my parents about the owl, about its ominous presence preceding each tragedy. Initially skeptical, they listened with growing concern as I recounted the events that had unfolded before my eyes. That night, the unnerving truth slammed into us with the force of 1,000 thunderclaps. A fierce storm raged, lightning tearing through the sky like a jagged scar. A deafening crack split the air, and we rushed outside to find Mrs. Henderson's car engulfed in flames, struck down by the wrath of nature. And there, perched on a nearby branch, the owl watched with unnerving calm, its eyes fixed on the smoldering wreckage. The villagers, drawn by the commotion, saw it too, their faces pale in the flickering glow of the flames. A hushed prayer meeting was held in the old church the following night, candles flickering as whispers of ancient lore filled the air. Yet, my family felt a different kind of fear, not of the owl, but of the darkness it represented, the unseen forces that lurked just beyond our understanding. And so, with heavy hearts, we made the decision to leave our home behind, seeking refuge far from the reach of the owl's deadly gaze. As we departed, the image of those piercing yellow eyes lingered in my mind, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lay shrouded in the shadows of the unknown.